Good afternoon and welcome to Jump In Let's Play with me, Adam from Board at Home. This week we're taking a look at Quacks of Quedlinburg, a charming and very fun Euro game that was released about 3-4 years ago and won the Kennerspiel de Jahres. That's the Connoisseur's Game of the Year. So in this game you are crafting potions, you are selling the potions, getting money, getting victory points. You can use that money to buy better ingredients for your potions, and the object is to have the most points, which equates to the most renown of all the quacks at this medieval fair. So we'll go through the setup as usual, and then a few turns of gameplay to give you an idea of how the game is played. So we'll start up here. We've got our tracker boards here, so we've got our victory points tracker around the edge, we've got our round tracker here, and we also have a little reminder of the turn order for the second part of each round. So there's two phases in each round: the potion phase where we're creating our potions, then the evaluation phase where we see how well we've done with our potions and able to buy more potions and gain rubies and the like. Each round will be marked up here, and then some rounds there'll be additional things that will come out, such as new books or tokens and things like that. Each player also gets a little point marker as well, so if they go past the 50 points they can flip that over to say they are over 50 points. And we've got a dice as well that is used in that second phase of each round. Over here we have our ingredient books. These ingredient books will have a variety of different ingredients in them. Some will have abilities that will be activated either during the potion phase or the evaluation phase. We also have two off to the side here, which will become unlocked as we progress through the rounds. Here we have our fortune teller deck, so this will give us an additional rule for that round only. It will either be applied at the start of the turn, or it will be applied over the course of that turn. So we'll just show you some of them. So blue ones will be applied over the course of that turn, purple ones will be applied at the start. We have all of our ingredients here, all in different bags, and we have our rubies. Onto the player board itself, each player will be given a cauldron. They'll have a little droplet that will start on the 1. They'll have a flask, so this flask they can use to put a white ingredient back into their bag, and then they just flip it over to say that is empty. And they have a rat here as well. This can be used to help make your potion a little bit more lucrative when you come to sell it, and hopefully get yourself some rubies and victory points as well. And this comes into play from the second round onwards. And finally here we have a little reminder. We've got our starting setup, so these are the tokens that will go into each player's bag. And then here we've got a reminder that if the white tokens get drawn out and they exceed a total of 7, then the potion will explode. You have to stop drawing tokens out of your bag, and then you will be penalised in the evaluation phase. There will be certain actions you can't do, such as not being allowed to roll on the bonus dice and having to pick between other actions in the evaluation phase. Right, so we shall begin. So we start on our first turn. So we turn over one of these cards, and we've got this here. In this round, every orange chip is moved forward 1 extra space. So if we happen to draw our orange chip, then it gets to move 2 instead of 1. So let's have a look. Okay, so we've got this one here. It's got a 1 on it. This means that it moves 1 space on from the water droplet. Every other token we now draw from here will move however many spaces forward from the last placed token. So this is going to move us 2. That's just going to move us 1. We are now on 4 value for our white token. So if we draw any more that takes us over 7, then we will have to stop because our potion has exploded. But hopefully we get to draw one of our other ones. Okay, there we go. So we are on 7. So there are still some white tokens left in the bag. So we decide now, do we want to use our flask? If we do, we could empty it and put that one back. Or we could decide that we're going to stop, because that will at least allow us to take advantage of all of the actions here. Or we could try our luck in the bag. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to stop there. We'll assume that our imaginary players around us will have stopped as well. And so we move to the evaluation phase. So the evaluation phase is split up into several different actions. So there'll be 6 possible actions to take. And we just go through these in order. So before we do that, we work out what we've got to use for the evaluation phase. So in your pot, it will be the space immediately after your last place token. So here we've got 8 and 1. So this means we will have 8 coins to spend, and we gain 1 victory point. We'll also check for the bonus dice to see who is furthest ahead. That person will get to roll this dice and immediately apply the result. That would be just 1 victory point. We'll have others such as 2 victory points. This one here allows them to move their droplet 1 space forwards. And this one here will give them a ruby. And this one here gives them an orange chip, an orange token into their bag. So for this, we would have just gained 1. We will then move to chip actions. So some of the tokens, some of the chips you can see on here will have different abilities, and these will be applied either in the potion phase when they get drawn, and some will be applied in the evaluation phase. So in the evaluation phase, it will be the green, the black, and the purple. So the purple one's there, so we've not got that yet. We don't have any black, so we would ignore that. So we just check on this first round to see if anyone's got green tokens that will match the criteria there. So we don't, so we ignore the chip actions there. We'll then move to rubies. So we check this space here to see if we have any rubies, which we don't. And now we move to victory points. Now here, if the potion had exploded, we would only be able to choose between the next 2 actions, victory points or buying more ingredients. We stopped at 7, so we are okay. So we can take our victory points, which is just 1 victory point there for this one, and we've got 8 to play with. Now when you're buying your ingredients, you can buy multiples of ingredients, but you can only buy 1 of each type. So I couldn't buy 2 orange or 2 green, but I could buy an orange and a blue, for example. So I think that is what we will do. We will buy ourselves an orange. So these all just have a value of 1. And we buy a blue, but we can only afford this one, so we get a blue with a value of 1 as well. Now if we draw the blue in our next potion phase, then we get to do this effect. So here we could draw another chip and place it, or may place it into our pot. So that goes into our bag as well. Everything else also goes back into our bag. And then we move to the end of turn. So this is the final action. If players have any rubies, they can spend 2 rubies to either refill their flask, or they can spend 2 rubies to move their water droplet forwards 1. Now players can do these as many times as they like, so if they had 4 rubies they could refill their flask and they can move this forward 1, or they could move it forward 2, as long as you've got the resources to pay for that. So our turn indicator will now move, so we'll go to round 2, and we will add this one to our available potions. There we go. The other thing we will do now at the start of the second turn is we will check for this one. So this one is an immediate effect, so we just move forward, so everyone would move forward 1 space. We would then check now for our rat tokens, so that will be for these ones here. So for example, if the other player, the blue player here, was on 5 points, we would count the amount of rat tails between the leader and each other player. So we're here, so there's only 1 between us, so we would then move that forward 1 space. So we start here and we're working our way out from there. We'll then start again and we will draw from our bag. So we've got 2, so we move forward 2 there. We move forward 1. We move forward 2. It's not looking good for us. We want some of those coloured ones, really. We move forward 1. We're going to move forward 1 on that. So we're now on 6 for our white there. So we're gonna risk it, see if we can get either the blue or the green there. So now we are on 7. So we're going to stop there. We've gotten along a bit further than we did last time. So once everyone's either stopped because their potions exploded, or they've decided to stop taking ingredients out of the bag, we will again move to the evaluation phase. So once again, whoever is in the lead will roll this dice. So for argument's sake, we'll say our blue player is in the lead. He would get a victory point. If anyone was on the same space as him on the board, then they would get to roll as well. We'll then move to chip actions. Unfortunately, we didn't get to draw our green, so we won't be able to do that. So we will check for rubies, and again, no rubies. Had we stopped a couple before, we would have got a ruby, but fortunately not. So we do get to check for both victory points and being able to buy more ingredients though. So victory points, we've got 2, so we just move up 2, and then we check here with our coins. So we've got 11 coins, so we've sold our potion for 11 gold coins. We will now get to decide what we want to buy. This is now open to us if we want to buy this. So we will just take a look through. So let's get a red one. So that is 6 points there. And then let's get ourselves another. Let's get a blue one actually, because we've got 11 points. So we will take a blue with a value of 1 as well. Then these will go into our bag along with the rest of them. We will then go to the end of turn, last action, see if people have any rubies that they can spend to either refill this or move their water droplet forward. We then take our rat stone and that goes back into its little bowl here, ready for the next turn. And then we proceed with the next turn. So this one, we have opened up our next ingredient book, so we've got a lot more ingredients now to use for following rounds. So we reveal the top card here. If your pot explodes this round, the player to your left gets any one to chip. So anything that's got a value of 2, they get to take them out. You can see a lot of these are quite valuable as well, so we're not going to want to try and let our potion explode. We'll check for the rat tails again. So say he had got some more points during his evaluation phase to round 2. We were stuck on 4 here, so we then count between us and the leader. There's 2 rat tails there, so we're going to move forward 2, and now we will draw. Now as the game goes on, you obviously get more ingredients, so hopefully there'll be less chance of taking white tokens out of the bag. There we go, so we've got a red one there, so that just moves forward 1. Sadly, we don't get to take advantage of the bonus action for the red one there. So that moves us forward 1. Let's take this one here, moves us forward 1, so we're on 4. 5, 6. Not good for us. Not seeing any of the other colours. 7. Okay, right, let's give it a go, eh? There we go. So that just, that should have moved forward 2 rather. So that one's there. This one's here. We're going to leave it there. So we get to perform this action here. So when we play it, draw 1, 2 or 4 chips from your bag. You may place one of them in your pot. So let's have a look, okay? Let's draw 1. So we can place this in our pot if we so choose. But I think we want to go for that ruby because that's going to help us in future rounds. So we won't place that in our pot. We'll then move to the evaluation phase. So again, whoever is in the lead on their potion board will roll the dice. They will get whatever the result is, and we will work our way through once again. So any chip actions, which we don't have, we didn't draw our green. We haven't drawn our green for the 3 rounds that we've had so far. So we would move to rubies. We get 1 ruby, so that is good. So take one of these lovely little tokens here, very tactile. I do like those. And then we will go to our victory points and buy in chips. So victory points, we get ourselves 2 victory points off of that. We can now buy chips. So we've got 13 coins. So what ingredients do we want? So maybe we're going to go for a 13 points, eh? Let's go for a black one. And then we've got 3 points left, so we'll just take a orange one there to spend all of our points. So those go back in the bag along with all of these. We then go to the end of turn. Unfortunately, we still only have 1 ruby, which means that we can't move this forward. We haven't used our flask yet, so we don't need to worry about that. The rat goes back here, and then we proceed to the next round. And we'll keep doing that as we proceed through the next 5 rounds, 6 rounds. And then at the end of the whole thing, we'll get one final bonus action where we get to convert any money and rubies into victory points. And then it will be whoever has the most victory points at the end will be the most renowned quack at the Quedlinburg Medieval Market Fair. So that is Quacks of Quedlinburg. As you can see, once you get into it, it is a fairly straightforward game. Don't let the amount of components put you off. There is a lot here, but once you get into the swing of it, it is fairly easy to navigate your way through the game. I really enjoyed the mix of luck and skill here. So you've got to decide what you're going to be chucking into your potion. So you may decide that you're going to go after a wide variety so that you can get as many different kinds of actions as possible, or you may decide to try and concentrate on a few colours so that you can really hone in on certain play styles. Obviously it all goes into here, so it's blind luck when you pull them out, but you do get to mitigate that somewhat with your decisions. Also how far you want your potion to go as well before you run the risk of it blowing up. As the game moves on over the course of the next 6 rounds, this will fill up more and more as well. So there's going to be less chance of drawing those white ones unless you happen to be a bit unlucky like me and draw most of them every turn so far. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Any questions at all, just leave a comment below or visit us on Ramsgate High Street. If you like the look of the game and you want to play, this is available in the board games library here in our shop. It's just £2 per person for the whole day. You can play games like this and a whole host of others. We've got about 180 games at the last count, so there's a wide variety for you if you want to check out some more games. That's it for now, guys. I appreciate you sitting through this one with me, and we'll see you for the next one.